Alright, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? It is, of course, Ranger Flame, welcoming you guys back to another Boruto Naruto Next Generation's episode review. We've reached the episode 50 mark, which, in my opinion, 50 episodes already. We are halfway through 100 episodes of this show already, which mostly, if you look at it, probably like a quarter of it is filler, not gonna lie, but this episode today, it's a recap episode, and it's not like, okay, hold the phone, it's not like Beatless, for example. It was like a back and forth kind of thing, but it was really cool because they're focusing on the Chunin exams. As you know, the Chunin exam arc is coming right up. Of course, this is like, it's gonna have more information than the Boruto movie, because in the Boruto movie, you know, I guess like half of the movie or something like that, I'm trying to remember even that, it was the Chunin exam. And with this episode today, it's kind of, you know, the teachers looking over their students, so, you know, what they accomplished from school and what they are now, you know, as, you know, getting. And, you know, in this episode, it was, like I said, a back and forth kind of thing. You know, it was Konohamaru and his old squad, like Udon, I forget the girl, and she, you know, kind of talking about, like, what they did of, you know, say, for example, when Nu was about to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village, it was Boruto that saved Samir, and Samir is here now with the group. Also, you know, Boruto and Mitsuki and Sarada doing their first ever mission, and, you know, Udon's group doing of what they were, of course, you know, of Iwabi being the repeater, and now he's finally a Genin, of Metali controlling, you know, his, you know, kind of his mental powers. You know, he is a strong shinobi, but he needs to overcome his fear of, like, say, for example, stage fright, or like people watching him become a ninja. That's kind of what I'm pointing. And Denki having no powers at all. You know, his father forcing him to become a ninja, but he wanted to become a ninja because Boruto inspired him, and look where he's at right now. And, you know, etc. like that. And in this episode, it's kind of like a back and forth thing of them talking about of what their kind of growth is going to the Chunin exam right here. Because going to the Chunin exam, you know, of course, if you win it, you become a Chunin. As you know, if you look back in Naruto, for example, you know, them doing the Chunin exams, you know, no one won because of the hidden sound, you know, destroying the hidden leaf. But Shikamaru became a Chunin because of his efforts and him being a smart guy going against Tamari, or even being in the Chunin exam whatsoever. So it's kind of them, you know, preparing and thinking that if their students should participate or not. And there was definitely some comedy in this episode here as well, at the end, which was actually freaking awesome. You know, the comedy in, you know, Naruto or even Boruto is always great. And in this episode, you know, it was kind of cool seeing the old cast. And I say that every single time I say it for Boruto. But in this, it was just really cool because, you know, we've seen a little bit time to time, you know, not a lot of Naruto, but in Naruto Shippuden, we've seen a lot of, you know, Konohamaru, Udon, and, you know, just that team right there. But it was cool just seeing their team, you know, in general, and them talking to their students and etc. like that, of them getting prepared for and etc. I want to talk about this, you know, it's just the ending right here, but I'll talk about the students and example like that. But with this episode, it was just, the comedy at the end was just perfect, and I relate to this so much because, you know, I do go to the bar and drink, all that stuff. That's not really it's not really anything important, but with this, it was just absolutely hilarious. The comedy in this was just perfect, of them, you know, discussing them at, you know, the noodle shop, you know, them having, you know, sake back and forth. And it was just funny that, you know, Konohamaru, Shino, and I forget her name, but the ponytail girl or whatever, you know, the member or the other sensei of the group, they're just talking, and Udon is just past the F out. That made me laugh, you know. That brought up this episode just a little bit because I just thought that was freaking hilarious. And then, of course, we had, you know, Hinata's sister, or of course her being another sensei, coming as well, talking about Boruto and etc. like that. Because, you know, with this, like, I think the big turning point in this episode here today is, if you ever watch Naruto, you know, Konohamaru looked to Naruto as a big brother. And now, since this is the new generation, you know, Konohamaru thinks that Boruto is his little brother. And it's really cool how he feels about that, you know, him always calling him big bro Konohamaru and etc. like that. And he's kind of overprotective because, like, in this, he doesn't want Boruto to compete in the Chunin exams, because if you're going to the Chunin exam, this is becoming more than ninja right here. Like, this is a life and death situation that you're getting into, and he's just wanting to protect Boruto, but at the same time he knows that he's like his dad and that he can succeed. Well, at the end right there when Hanabi is talking to him and etc like that. But like with this, it was kind of cool what they did with the recap. I feel like with recap episodes, I feel like this is what they should do, kind of a half and half, little point. Like, I thought it was literally just like kind of, for example, like Beatless, for example. I know this is a whole different anime, but it's them always doing recaps, and it's like, hey, we get this and this and that. And I thought this recap was just gonna hype because the Chunin exam is right around the corner. And for next preview right here, it's actually weird because it's Boruto's birthday, and I thought it was gonna be Hanabi's birthday just because it's her birthday in the movie, and that's when the Chunin exam goes and etc like that. So I feel like that's when it's gonna start. I feel like that's what it's going to be for next episode right here, going to 51. This is going to be the Chunin exam arc, which, to be honest with you, I'm still hype. I think this is going to be the best moment for Boruto, because knowing Boruto right now, like I said, it's had fillers here and there, but I feel like for it to stand out more, the Chunin exam is going to be a thing. But it's really cool of this because it's also character development if you look at it throughout the other characters of them actually growing. Like, for example, Denki, he was literally just a weak nerd, gadget kind of dude. He was forced by his father to going to become a ninja, but he didn't want to follow his father's rules. But knowing from Boruto and Boruto giving him so much hope and life and etc like that, that he wants to follow Boruto's footsteps. And look at this, he's become a good ninja, and he also helped Iwabe not repeat again, and Iwabe became a Genin. And then you have, of course, like I talked about this already, of Metal Lee, being better at, actually being a ninja and people looking at him. Boruto already talked about him a lot. Mitsuki in this episode, it's just kind of like him back and forth. Actually, it's funny that Konohamaru doesn't know that he's actually Orochimaru's son, which I hope that he learns more in the future about that. And then, of course, with Sarada, of her having, of course, Sasuke's power and, Sakura's power as well. So not really much on her. We're just looking at a mirror of her, being this person that wanted to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village. But, since her friends, even Boruto, give her, I guess, like I said, life, and to, having such good friendship that, she cares for her friends and etc. and became a whole different new person. Wasabi and them, don't know much about them. And with this episode here today, that's really what it was. And I really did like it as kind of a recap. I thought it would just go into the Chunin exam, episode 50 right here, halfway mark of 100. I thought it would go off with a bang, but I feel like it just slowly getting to that pace, which I do like, but I'm hoping that we really focus on it, because I feel like for next episode, episode 51, I feel like that's not really what it's going to be like, because in this, if you watch the Boruto movie, Boruto does really hate his father, and I feel like it's getting to that point. If you know what I'm talking about, if you watch the movie, it's going to get to that point in episode 51 for next week's episode. But either way, guys, that was the episode here today. It was half recap, half the story. And one thing I want to talk about too, which is just another funny moment, is just the bar scene. It was at the very end, which it's still good. It's Boruto Naruto. It'll always have that comedy. And the reason why Shino doesn't drink, alcohol or, sake or anything like that is because he can't control, the insects inside his body, and they go on a complete rampage, which, it's always good. Do always love that comedy, so I give them credit for that. But, with this episode here today, guys, I did enjoy it, like I said, and I'm saying it a million times in this review. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I feel like it does deserve a 7 out of 10. I give it full credit, going into this, I'm going to be like, oh, God, here we go. But watching it, I'm like, all right, you know what? You did a good job. So with it today, guys, it's slowly getting to that Chunin exam arc. And I don't know why it's always making me mad, but I'm hoping that they change the opening and ending soon. It's literally been the same thing for 30 episodes now or etc like that. I feel like, I don't know why, I needed a new opening, I needed a new ending, I needed a new refresh instead of kind of watching the same thing over and over. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this review here today. Comment down below what your favorite part of this episode was today, or I guess in my review. Yeah, probably in my review. It's been out for a while now. In my review, hit that like button if you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. But much love, guys, and we'll see you guys next Boruto Naruto Next Generations review. Much love, guys, and have a good one.